Um, there is uh, there's an image of me just popping into view of an allowable, or so I thought, event. Uh, I need to explain it the way that I remember it because I know on extension things happen, and that is partially the problem with where I should have been my whole life and where leaving me on this route, it was the most dangerous. I, it's just like whatever. I don't know. I was just there, and then all of a sudden I'm like looking, and it was like I suppose you could say like a corner booth. Just like I was in, for sure, I was in Lloyd Harbor Elementary eating a sandwich at the table. And then the next thing I know, I'm holding the sandwich and I'm looking at Maria and Alice. And I'm like, and my sandwich wasn't peanut butter and jelly, I don't think. It was bologna. And I'm like, I don't eat bologna. I was like, why am I here? Right, so that happened when I was younger. And then, in fact, actually, Judy got a phone call documenting that there were several, after she reported that I had a problem with whatever contacts she had at the time, that that they confirmed for her, that they put it on my record, that there were no verifiable car rides, and they couldn't verify the whereabouts for my parents. They wanted me to have a live etch of calling her and having her explain it to me. So this way, and she used to have some kind of like a pad of some sort, I don't know. And then like once I went to kindergarten, like everything changed. It's almost like the whole past was whitewashed and just erased. So anyway, so I arrived in this like almost, it was like a corner, like a bar, but I guess like more like a pub, like almost like a coffee shop kind of like a feel. I don't know. I mean, and yeah, he said I didn't know. I mean, I was staring at me, and I'm like, he's like, let me help you. He's like, let me help you. Did you say I'm love or love? And he goes, either. Something about like they had a diagnostic class or something, and they wanted to paint something where they could step in and just meet with me for this whatever. And so they designed the area for that event in like whatever, I don't know, was that a CAD kind of like on a, but you were inside when you did it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know that's my level of equipment, which is why I'm so like frightened of what the humans are up to in dangerous areas unattended. They're not exactly trustworthy units. I run off of a completely different, we call it solar system, and regenerate. I don't know what the, like, I mean, do we call them disposables? I mean, I don't know. They're not repeatables. They're just not. And half of the, I mean, like 100% when, God forbid, you have to ask them, or they wind up in the wrong area, you say, is that what you want to be in for eternity? That look? That size? And they're usually like, no. And you're like, good. And then you just delete them. I mean, I don't understand why this is so difficult. If you showed up in something that, like, I mean, why would you want to live in something that was poorly made to begin with? I mean, I don't know. I mean, doesn't really make sense. But then again, you humans aren't working off of a whole lot of logic because you fucking dumbed yourselves down with computers, literally, like just like a synthesizer machine. Up, this is the smart boat. Now they won't be able to think so high. Right, okay, well, that kind of procedure is a safety measure when the really dangerous criminals that are disposables get into the repeatable equipment. So why are there so many repeat offenders of the disposable pool? Just curious. Why are so many of them like interfering with my ender and my ether and my ability? So like again, I showed up in that room, and it's kind of like I guess you could say it was an extraterrestrial's like central perk moment. Like if you were gonna walk into the scene of Friends, like the TV show. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it, but the TV show on I don't know, they had it in the 1990s. There was Rachel and Ross and Chandler, and some guy Joey. Again, I didn't really watch the thematics, it's theatrics. I mean, I know it had a point, but it wasn't, it was scripted, but the wrong way. It didn't even explain the proper story with the right characters, especially with what the human disposables were saying. They're like disposable razors, I swear. They cut each other, and then they claim it's all sorts of other stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, like, how much longer is this gonna, I know, like, there's only like 5 people that get what's going on my level, like, and I really don't like having to share very much, so, like, why am I here doing this? Okay, so now there's that one night of approved extension, but it's kind of like when you put, like, a stake in the sand, and then it becomes a monitor, because you don't want certain levels breached. That was one of them. Like the initial monumental, we're in extension together, and like the human, the skin version of whatever we are elsewhere is there. It already had color and light in it, so whatever. I just assumed I walked into something, and I'm like, I don't remember getting here, but that's not unusual. I mean, this is like a really unforgiving life. Like, it's not really a life. It's just a lot of threads through time and space to make other people's agendas seem real for some reason, without any authority or permission by, like, the good guys. And, like, when there's only 5 good guys or whatever was in that one protected booth, I don't understand why we have to answer to anything human. I mean, why can't we just go to control room and work from quiet place against the disposables? Because I know how to work my area and symbols pretty well. Those come pre-attached in the place where they erased, but it seems to be working like intermittently, like working what they'll let through the fishnet, I suppose, on a dial-up connection, almost like an AOL, like do do do, and they changed the number. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. All right, and then there was in 2000. This is 2020 when I'm making this video, but the 2015-ish timeless walkout was a superimposed, like, real location. It was the exact same Coptic retinal visual, less a few features. Like in the kitchen, there was a long counter table that you could sit at, I call butcher block, and then at the end it was a sink and like a trash compactor underneath. Like, that part just seemed to dissipate, and it was just the table in the middle for meetings. And then we had stand up, so the outer walls looked the same, but sometimes even the table just disappeared, just melted, or just wasn't there. And then we were able to walk around the room almost like a set of a movie. which might have been confusing because this is the same physical realm that the rest of the humans live in. It's just that there are certain times and reasons why the physicalness of an interactive space works a little differently, depending on what's needed and what's on cue for the, I guess, between, do I even say set director? Because I really don't know if I want anybody directing the rest of the show, because you guys have done a really fucking horrible job. I mean, can we get disposables out of everything? I mean, if they disappear for a while, I mean, does anybody really care? Anybody really know? Like, I mean, can we be the bad guy and hold them hostage and we'll sell them back to you once we get our girl? I mean, I thought that isn't innocent enough. I mean, I'm only one. I mean, they do it on the movies. I don't know. It's like, you watch TV, or at least I don't watch TV, I watch the commercials. And, like, they come out in, like, SWAT gear. Like, they got black gear on. They got big vests that say SWAT. They look like they mean business. They got boots on. Even, like, the girls are like, yeah, like, we're going to go fight crooks. And that's all you see. Like, the actuality of their success is, I don't know. I mean, I walked into a bank dressed like La Femme Nikita. God only knows how many times it's all caught on camera in Islandia, Dix Hills, Comac, whatever. Meeting the public I'm not supposed to even be around people, but whatever. Here I am trying to, like, do any of you know where I belong? I mean, it's like when you have such a hard specification. I mean, like, I know there's a system somewhere somebody can look up, or somebody could call somebody important somewhere and say, do you know where this girl belongs? Because that's how it worked last time. So now why, if there's only like 5 people that know, I can't get to them because it's so quiet. I don't even know how to chase it up. And then what am I going to tip off on my way to where I need to be? And they don't know me. So now are they going to call around? And then are they going to start digging? And then if they dig, what is going to happen? I mean, at what point do you all become helpful?